My apologies for seeing the room inside filled up with 8,500 people. And I'm sorry that we couldn't get all of you inside, but I wanted to come out and say a few words. Your presence here tonight tells me that Buffalo, New York State, and this country understand that establishment politics and establishment economics is not going to solve the problems facing our country. We need a political revolution. And what that means, and I'm the only candidate for president who will tell you this, is that no president alone can solve the enormous crises facing our country. We need millions of people to stand up, fight back, and demand a government that represents all of us, not just the 1%. We need to end a corrupt campaign finance system in which billionaires now are trying to buy elections. We need to end a rigged economy in which the middle class is continuing to decline, in which millions of Americans are working longer hours for lower wages, while almost all new income and wealth goes to the top 1%. We need to deal with the grotesque level of wealth inequality in America, where the top 1/10% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. In other words, we need to create an economy that works for all of us, not just the people on top. We need a new trade policy in America, in Buffalo, and all over this country. Millions of workers have lost their jobs because corporations have shut down here and gone to cheap labor countries all over the world. Our job, and I will be very happy to do this, is to tell corporate America they're going to start investing in Buffalo, in New York State, in America, not in China. Yeah, Bernie! We need to end this $7.25 starvation minimum wage. We need a living wage, $15 an hour all across America. We need to end the reality that women are making 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. And I know that every man here will stand with the women in the fight for pay equity. All over this country, our water systems are failing, and I know that that is an issue of concern here in New York State. And that is why together we're going to have a national ban on fracking. And why we are going to invest in rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure and create millions of decent paying jobs as we do that. And that is why, as all of you know, in many respects, a college degree today is the equivalent of what a high school degree was 50 years ago. And today we have got to rethink what public education means and understand that it is simply not good enough to have first grade through 12th grade as public education. We need to make public colleges and universities tuition free. We need to address the crisis in which millions of Americans are saddled, are being really crushed by very high levels of student debt. And that is why our legislation allows people with student debt to refinance their loans at the lowest interest rates possible. This campaign and I understand that climate change is real and that we have a moral responsibility to leave this planet in a way that is healthy and habitable for our children and our grandchildren. And that is why we're going to have to take on the fossil fuel industry and transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. This campaign understands that at a time when we have a massive level of income and wealth inequality, where the very rich are becoming richer and almost everybody else is becoming poorer, that the wealthy and large corporations will have to start paying their fair share of taxes. And this campaign understands that there is something very wrong when the United States of America, our great country, is the only major country on earth that does not guarantee paid family and medical leave. And we are the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people. Now, those are some of the issues. There are more, and I'm going to give the longest speech inside. And I guess you got a TV over there. All right. But here is really what the bottom line is. The bottom line is that if we do not allow the Donald Trumps of the world to divide us up, if we stand together, if we have a vision for the future, if we can think beyond the status quo that the media and the establishment want us to believe that this is the way it is and it can never change, well, I've got news for you. It can change, and together we will make those changes.
Yeah, Bernie!
A week from tomorrow, there is going to be a very important Democratic primary in New York State. And what I have learned in this campaign, and by the way, as you may know, we have won 7 out of the last 8 caucuses and primaries. And you in New York don't want to break that streak, do you? Got to keep going. What we have learned is that if the voter turnout is high, we win. If the voter turnout is low, we don't win. Needless to say, I hope we're going to have a high voter turnout a week from tomorrow. Thank you very much for your support. Let's put New York State on record as going forward with the political revolution. Thank you all very much.
Bernie! 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 Woo!
5 years ago, students at University of Wisconsin joined with workers 5 years ago to say to Scott Walker,